Episode number 2 of This Week in Wrestling. Guys, we're going to be talking about all the stuff that's went on in wrestling this week, the things that I've liked, and there's obviously going to be a ton of rants about all the kind of average pish that there's been. Anyway guys, I'm going to roll the intro. Don't forget to go to the comments below and let me know about one thing you enjoyed about wrestling this week and one thing that you didn't like. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, subscribe and that beautiful notification bell. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Right guys, so I'm going to open this with you to say that wrestling this week was pretty damn average for me. Nothing really major happened. A lot of the shows just felt like they were just going through the motions to get this week out of the way. There was a strong week last week in wrestling, it felt really good. And then we kind of feel that it just, well for me personally, I feel it just kind of was a dud. The best thing that's been happening this week has been the Impact ROH invasion. But then we had the same thing saying that Impact AEW having a little thing was fun. Is that all Impact's going to be used for? Just these invasion angles and nothing more? When the ROH Impact stuff stops, is that going to be hit and it's not going to be interesting again? We're going to be having terrible weekly shows. I'm not sure about this week in wrestling at all. It just wasn't for me. It felt very like just there. Like even last night's stuff, if you've seen my minute review, it all just kind of felt average. Like, do you know what I mean? It felt really, really average. This week, there was a few things going on. So, I'm going to open up with Doudrop getting the win from that triple threat to go face Becky at the Royal Rumble. So, two things here. This is either going to be a way that Becky gets bet, and this lets Liv Morgan come up and take it off of Doudrop protecting her. There's some foolishness at the end. Or, this is just another fill in the cap for Becky Lynch to say she bet. Either way, I don't think Doudrop should get the belt. She's a great wrestler. She is fantastic. She's Scottish, so I'm going to support her. But for me, I don't think she should get this belt at all. I don't think she's ready there. Now, should she maybe get, if they're bringing in a women's IC title or something? Yes, she should definitely get that. But should she be up there for the main title at the minute, after we just seen her doing, she's called Doudrop, you know what I mean, like change her name, but after we just seen her with the Eva Marie stuff that she done, should we be seeing her up here? For me, it's a no, it definitely isn't. I just don't think she should be there. No, that she doesn't deserve it. I don't think she'd be there the new. No, she could have been in with a chance of winning that Royal Rumble if she'd have got that. That would have been cool, but for me, this one missed the mark. And also in Raw we had RK-Bro losing their belts. I feel it's about time, do you know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people were upset about it. There isn't really any other teams in that tag team division, but I feel it's break them up. They're going to, if they break them up, if not, stay together, whatever. But break them up, have them have a little feud into Mania, even if they get back together, whatever. But I think that's probably the best way to go. It puts another match on at Mania, which they probably are going to be needing, but for me it feels like the right time. It was not getting stale. They were a cool tag team, but it just felt like it was just getting a little bit, is it this again, do you know what I mean? But we'll see how it goes. So a little bit of a rant before. So AEW this week has felt really average. Now they went on the TBS last week and it looked like they had a little bit of a boost. If you were tuning back in, you didn't really get anything. They brought in Brody King, which I'm excited for. Having Aleister Black, I really feel can have a cool stuff going on. Do you know what I mean? Give them the tag belts, let them keep growing and whatever. But what I do want to say is, the Adam Cole Britt Baker thing, right? Now I know they're a couple in real life. Britt Baker's a woman champion, right? She came out last night with Adam Cole, and it just literally made her drop down a peg for me. Me personally would have kept these two just doing what they're doing, building each other, building up, get Cole to that position that he faces Paige, right? He gets a belt off Paige, they have this insanely good match, Paige keeps kicking out, Britt Baker ends up coming down, smacks him with a belt, wee foolishness finish, get a wee bit of cheat in there, roll up, Cole gets a win, two of them stand with the belts. I think that would have made more sense than what they've just done here, is to just kind of, I don't know, it just wasn't for me, and it kind of belittles all the work that Britt Baker's put in, because Adam Cole's just really, I don't know, fucking been weirdly used. Like, it's came from NXT just to go to here and do nothing really. And I know people be saying that he's done this and done that, but for me, he really hasn't done anything at all. And like I said, I would have rather seen just something with it, a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? Keep them apart and then bring them together eventually. But it is what it is. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is, obviously last year WWE renamed Backlash to WrestleMania Backlash. Now, I didn't know about this until I seen Jonesy Chats Jonesy Chats Wrestling. Jonesy wrote this on Twitter about this name change for Elimination Chamber. They're going to call it WrestleMania Chamber. Now, I've looked online and stuff and I've seen it's by Dave Meltzer saying this, so, you know, aye. If they change this to WrestleMania Chamber and they're going to hold it in Saudi Arabia, this is going to be fucking shit, isn't it? Like, I know the name doesn't make the pay-per-view right, and the one that was in Saudi was really good, and the name obviously isn't going to make the pay-per-view, but it just doesn't sound good. Like, it really doesn't sound good. It's if they're just trying to be like, right, we're going to just put WrestleMania in it because people are going to start Googling it this time of year, and just and hopefully this pops up, somebody will watch it, because we all know this is shite. But this, for me, really, no. Like, the names used to be like No Mercy, Armageddon, Backlash, Bad Blood, New Year's Revolution, like all these names that just really like No Way Out, like meant something. Like, for me, growing up, obviously that meant something, and it really kind of stuck with you. And something else that I do want to talk about as well is, obviously WWE probably changing these. It makes sense to change it to WrestleMania Chamber. So if they're having it in March, and people normally get that WrestleMania season, they're promoting it, somebody types in WrestleMania, that pops up, or somebody types in WrestleMania after it, and you get WrestleMania Backlash popping up. What's another thing, so I'll tune in and watch it. It's a smart way, but it's fucking stupid, because they're not really promoting a pay-per-view to be excited about. You're just kind of just changing the name to be shite. But and I don't know how I would feel about the Elimination Chamber being held there. I mean, Elimination Chamber hasn't been great for years, and you can bring up the chambers whenever. I don't care. The first one was the best, and there was a few others after that, and that was about it. But when they made the pay-per-view its own thing, the arse fell out it for me. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is the Roman Reigns Seth Rollins feud, right? So we're going to be getting this match at Royal Rumble, and I do not care for it. I know it's going to be a good match. I know they're going to put on great work. They're doing great talking. Last night was fun. I don't care for it. I'm not interested in it. I don't think Roman's going to drop the belt to Seth, but if Seth does get the belt, is he going to move to SmackDown? Are we just patching this fucking brand split? Is he going to take the SmackDown belt to Raw and then change it to the Raw belt because Lesnar will put the Raw belt on? Like, I don't know. What they're going to do? Unify the belts? I don't see. If Lashley beats Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns is definitely getting the win. If Seth beats Roman, Lesnar's obviously getting the win. But I think they're probably going to unify these belts and have this as a big unified belt thing at Mania or something. And they were probably going to get Roman versus Lesnar. But I think Seth's probably going to get the L here, and I really don't think it's going to be. I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it'll be anything special. We're just going to see a match, it'll be good, and Roman gets the win. Then we've got Lashley versus Lesnar, which I'm excited for. And I hope they do something more with it. I mean, I would rather them just do that and then push it on to Mania as well. And then obviously we do need to deep talk about, like, I hope somebody from WWE is listening to this, because we really need to talk about this Naomi and Sonya Deville thing. This has went on for far too long. Like, this has just been, they're stretching this really thin now, aren't they? Like, are they trying to make this last to Mania? Like, is Naomi she goes to the Royal Rumble and she gets eliminated by Deville, who does a wee thing, and then we're going to drag it on to Mania? I don't want to see this drag on that long, because I'm getting really bored of watching this. It's not even really going to be. They'll put on a match. It's not going to steal the show. It's not going to be the best match you've ever seen in your life. It'll just be there, and it's going to be a waste of like 6 months. What's this long-term storytelling for something that nobody really gives a shit about? And then obviously we had Lita coming in as well. So Lita was kind of, might be one more run, wee thing with Charlotte. I think if Lita and Charlotte had a little match on a SmackDown or something, it'd be fun. Do I think she's going to come back, get a belt and have a run? No, she's probably not going to do that. But again, it shows the lack of stars that they've been building in WWE to go against these champions is silly. Like it's no if they didn't know that they were going to be putting shows and pay-per-views on, or premium live events, what we're going to talk about, on every single month. They know this was going to happen, and it's as if they're acting like they're surprised that they need to have other stars outside what they've already been doing. Also, right, the premium live events, I'm going to be moaning a wee bit about this, guys, is why the blue hell have we changed it to premium live events? It's pay-per-views. It's always been called pay-per-views. Even if it's no own pay-per-view, it's always, every wrestling fan knows them as a pay-per-view. Now we're going to call them premium live events. It doesn't even sound nice. Like, it just sounds cold and just, like, premium. Like, not when you go to, like in the UK, like Lidl or Aldi, and you get, like, the off-brand cola, and it's always, like, premium cola or some shit. Like, I don't drink fizzy juice, so I don't really know. Premium chocolate, or I don't know what it would... like... It just sounds shite. Like, really, WrestleMania, the premium live event of the year. What the fuck are you talking about here? This doesn't even make any sense. And it's just that cold feeling of it. And then obviously the reports are coming out that WWE tried to sell to Fox last year. Fox says no, but they gave them a TV deal for SmackDown, or whatever they done. And it makes sense, but are these guys sitting there with a company that they wanted to fucking get rid of and ditch last year, and they didn't plan this far ahead? They're sitting there like, shit, we didn't think people would still be watching this pish after this long. We thought we'd have had this sold and nobody wants to buy it, so they're kind of just sitting there, bored that they're not waiting for somebody to eventually buy it. But this week in wrestling, guys, overall for me has been very, very average. I don't know, nothing really exciting. Impact ROH thing, but let's be honest, nobody's watching Impact. Okay, nobody's watching wrestling at the minute. Let's stop kidding on that we that this is a cool thing anywhere. This just really was an average week for me. Very missable. Catch the clips on YouTube, guys. There's no really point in sitting down watching a show unless you want to watch Impact ROH Invasion thing that they done, which was alright. But apart from that, nothing really. Everything was expected, you know what I mean? You have just stuff that was there that they'll just put in a wee clip and that'll be it. It doesn't really matter. But that was it. Anyway, guys, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and that beautiful notification bell. And before people DM me like they did last week, this is obviously my opinion, guys. You could have loved this week in wrestling. This could have been the best week of your life. This is an opinion show. As most people will tell you, I'm very opinionated, and I'm pretty certain they're just calling me a cunt in a nicer way, but that's alright. Anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you back here Monday or Tuesday. I'll see you back then.